Hi guys, welcome to the week that was. Obviously it's the Easter weekend and we hope that everybody's having some much needed time with family and friends, or even just chilling out, because life is so busy all the time, and that's what we find, that we're just non-stop go all the time. So it's been really nice for us to be able to get a number of the animals out for Easter, and so it has been a little bit of a quieter weekend for us, which is lovely. So it's helped us catch up on some much needed work, hasn't it, Tani?
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah. So one of the things that we also wanted to sort of fill you in is that we've had some updates about Elsa. So Elsa is going amazingly well. She has found her cheeky side, her mum and dad have told us. They're taking her out all the time. Her favourite pastime is to roll in duck poo at the moment on their property. So she's having lots of showers. She's found her puppy side, and she's playing and barking and nipping and doing all those good things that puppies do. But there's one thing that we have seen, and that she snuggles up onto the lounge to watch Sunday Sangers. She has mastered the doggy door, and I really think she's found the best place ever. She's spoilt rotten, and we couldn't be happier. So we have had some little videos sent through to us, as well as some photos, and she's even wearing some bunny ears to wish us happy Easter. So you'll have a look at those beautiful photos. So, you know, it's really good when you see animal cases come in that come in so broken and stuff like that, and then you find them the best home, and they really come out of their shell. They really shine, and that's what this little girl is doing. She has just shined, and that is because of Scott and Jennifer, and we couldn't be happier.
It's true.
Okay.
Told you she couldn't help herself. In case she didn't hear it, Dee just asked for some help.
Look at the babies.
You can do it, Superwoman. Oh, they don't know what to do with them, do they?
No, I think it's just puppy food for them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, one's got a taste for it.
Who's got it? One of the things that we often see is a lot of animals come into the facility that are in pretty poor shape. Tani has brought in a cat that had been living behind her place, really, and she had injuries on her, so we had to get her better. And we often get strays that have come in that are just matted, really matted, very dirty. Most common thing is fleas and
covered
worms.
in fleas.
Yeah, fleas and worms. On the odd occasion, we've had some with grass ticks and stuff like that. So, you know, every time an animal comes in, our first priority is obviously we have to make them comfortable. That's our 100% what our total focus is making them feel good about themselves. And two, we obviously have a lot of animals at the facility as well, so that, you know, the last thing we want is other animals affected by, you know, things like fleas going from kennel to kennel and stuff like that. So, you know, we're very lucky that we've got some tremendous volunteers that come in. And one of those volunteers is actually Beck, and quite often she'll come in and bath the animals for us. So I'll jump on and groom as much as I can. Beck will come in and she will finish off the grooming. She has like a little tiny sets of groomers because she's got a very tiny dog. She'll tidy them up and then give them a good bath, and then we put the flea treatments on. And it's just remarkable how you see them change once they're not scratching all the time, or their skin's red raw, and, you know, you're putting stuff on to give them some comfort. You really do see them change, don't you, Tani?
Yeah.
It's almost like a relief to them. So recently we had a 9-year-old cat come in, and she was matted to the skin. I literally had to shave her down to the skin on her belly. She was that matted. And, you know, we've seen it before where we're doing number of dogs, and it's not even like a quick exercise, is it? We can be out there for hours trying to clean them up and trying to make them comfortable, trying to make sure that you don't have parasites going all over the place here, and you'll see Beck and I recently did a little dog here called Teddy, and he was absolutely black with the water is just so dark. He's got fleas everywhere, and Beck even had the knit comb out trying to get them off him. It was just horrendous. And by the time I finished grooming Lola, I'm sure she was half a cat by the time she was finished. But we had Fiona from 9 Lives here, and so she opted to hold little Lola while I could groom her. And by the time Fiona left, she was just covered in hair. But we all do it for the animals. So just another little bit behind the scenes that people don't often see. People think we just bring strays in, take them straight to a kennel and lock them away and don't tend to them. There's a lot behind the scenes that we do, don't we?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, we even spent one of our Christmas parties like dematting a dog that came in as a stray.
That's right. I think there was you, me, Beck. Don. I think we all took turns because it took hours and hours, and the dog was actually trying to bite us, and we're like, no, you can't bite us, we're trying to make you feel better. By the time that little girl was done, she was rolling around.
She was perfect after.
She was great. She was rolling around, she was feeling really good about herself, was able to bath her, no problems. But it was just, sometimes they just feel so much better for it. But here's some photos. During the week, I actually went out into the community with rangers and also community housing. So Hume, which is one of our housing providers here, actually had a barbecue on in one of their areas where they wanted people to come down and talk to them. Also it was a day for them to also door knock a number of streets to find out whether or not they were having any issues in the property, any maintenance issues, are they having any problems that they needed to address. And it was a really good experience for us. We were actually invited to go along, and what I found, it was really eye-opening. So I went with Jess from Hume, and we sort of paired up and we tackled one street, and just in the first 5 or 6 homes that we went to, there was so many houses that had concerns. So the first house we went to, there was three animals living there, and one of them wasn't chipped, and the other 2 were, but the details were out of date, and so we were able to fix that. Then we went to the next house. There was an animal living there that was chipped to Sydney, so we fixed that up. There was another dog there that wasn't chipped, so I chipped that one. We then spoke to those people. Then they sort of talked to us about the next door neighbour has got a dog and it's jumping up onto the fence and scaring their children. So it was a really good it was a really good thing for us that we got to talk to them about concerns, but we also identified a number of animals that weren't microchipped. So like I said, in the number of houses that I went to, we picked up so many animals that weren't even microchipped or even identified as living in those areas. So it was really good for me to go along, and we actually also got to meet a gentleman that was struggling in regards to needed a bit of support in a number of aspects actually. So we supported the animals with flea treatment and some food, and obviously free microchipping. And it was good also for community housing because they could see that the gentleman actually needed a little bit more support from other organisations that could help him clean up his property, because there was a lot of debris there that, you know, was a falls risk for him. So it was really good that we actually went out into the community and really talked to them to see what they needed. And I'm very blessed that I've got a very good relationship with them, that they could invite us along. And in fact, I actually left with some more brochures about things that they've got, some upcoming events. So, you know, they've got some things coming on where they're putting things up against domestic abuse, which we know is a very big problem in the community. This one also was great, that they're putting a free lunch on, but if people are actually having some problems with debt and stuff like that, they get, you know, with electricity and stuff like that, you can bring your utility bills along and they can help set up payment plans, find out what rebates, get some vouchers happening. And it's also about, you know, offering them more support. And these are the things that I really love being involved in, because we always try and help the community as much as we can as well, but it's really great to network. So I was very honoured to go out, had a barbecue lunch with these guys, saw a domestic happening, had to call the police, then get interviewed by the police, but it was just a really great day being out in the community. And then that was with Hume, and then obviously I also like to go out with our rangers as well to households that might need a helping hand. So our guys, our rangers, are also very much proactive too. If they see somebody struggling out in the community, they'll sort of say to me, Dee, we think this one might need a helping hand. I'll always go out with the guys and we'll go out and take food support, talk to them if they've got too many animals, you know, seeing what we can do to come up with a solution to try and help everybody. So that's really another aspect that we do behind the scenes as well. We actually don't always just stay on site. We are actually out in the community a lot. And I think Tanya and I talked about that last week, that I'm off always out of the office. I can be doing a lot of investigations, but there are things that I am actually out in the community helping. So that's just one aspect as well. So here's some photos of me out with the guys with Hume, and we had an awesome morning. Obviously, quite a few of you that follow us know that we do a program called Freedom Buster, and recently we had 2 dogs in, and one of them was microchipped to the breeder, the other one wasn't microchipped at all. And so obviously we jump on it pretty quick so that we can find the owners, and we did, because the owners have been looking for the dogs. One of the things that came to light really quickly in regards to this case was we identified a number of things. One, the gentleman couldn't afford to get the dogs back, so we took care of that with a Freedom Buster. The second thing that we identified was the gentleman was actually quite struggling mentally and financially. So we were able to support him financially in regards that we loaded him up with probably a month's worth of food for the dogs. But we also identified that he was struggling. His self-worth was at an all-time low, and the only things that were keeping him going were those 2 dogs. Now, we reached out to a doctor that we know, and she also assisted us not only with donating towards getting those dogs out, but actually putting us in touch with an organisation for mental health. And we spoke to the gentleman about it, and we said, look, you know, we don't know if we've overstepped the mark, but we feel like you might be struggling. And he said, yeah, I am. And we were able to give him some contact details of somebody that could help him. And that came as that we recognised that this gentleman needed just more than help with financial help. He needed support, and so it was really great that we could network with a number of avenues to make that happen for him. But you know, sometimes just talking to people, you actually get to hear the bigger picture. I do worry about people that are alone and that don't have anybody asking those questions. So I feel like if you do know somebody that's struggling, you know, ask those questions. Are you okay? Because sometimes they're trying to put a brave face on. And if you actually do suspect that somebody is struggling, get in touch with them, get in touch with Lifeline, Beyond Blue. We see so many cases where people in the news have just given up. You know, so it's really important that if you think someone's struggling, definitely reach out, definitely ask them if they're okay, because sometimes people won't ask for help. And we found that this gentleman said just one sentence to me and I knew that he was in trouble and that I had to help him. And that was simply that those dogs are the reason why he's still around. And you know, I'm not going to say exactly what he said to me, but it was enough for me to think, oh God, we have to get these dogs back to him. And thankfully, you know, we've got a wonderful network of people behind us that jumped in and we raised that funds to get those dogs back to him. But we also offered him the support that he needs. So thank you so much for everybody that does get behind these programs, because sometimes you don't get to see what we see or you don't get to hear what we hear. But trust us, when we see it, we act on it. So thanks so much, guys. So, we are going to be doing some fundraising efforts, and one of the things that we've got coming up is a market day, and Beck has actually registered us for the Maitland Market Day. I think it's 4th of May or something like that.
I'm not too sure. We probably should know this, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
It's soon.
It is soon.
It's soon.
And so Beck's been making cage matting and stuff like that for dog crates. I think she's made some bandanas. Pete's actually been making some figurines to sell, which pretty darn good.
They're very cute.
Very cute. So we'll show you some of the stuff that's actually been made that's coming up on our market day. So if there is anything that you guys would like, please let us know. Pete, with his stuff, he's got the 3D printer. He can do it in any colours. He's pretty handy there. And Beck, well, we just know she's the sewer extraordinaire,
yeah, she's
isn't
the sewing queen.
That woman can make anything.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, keep an eye out for our upcoming market day. But here's some little tidbits of coming stuff that are going to be for sale. So, been a very busy week leading up to Easter. We had 19 animals leave the facility, which was fabulous. That was between adoptions and rescues. So, because there's so many, I won't remember them all.
And this is why Sunday Singers was so short as well, because we did have a lot of animals and then they all went.
Yes, exactly. So you think about it, we're a 25 bay pound. We had 3 for Sunday Singers, but we got 19 out.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
that
almost full.
And yeah, we're almost full, and we had to work really, really hard. And so we also had strays that we had in here for days on end that we had to get out as well. So sometimes strays can't just automatically go home because they've got to be approved for a yard inspection and stuff. So sometimes we'll have a lot of that as well, tying us up. Okay, adoption wise, we had Oreo, who is now Quincy, Jabba the Mutt, Chewbacca, both of those are keeping their names, Princess Player. We had Cheezel and Cleo, our cats go home. Rescues, we had Dusty go to Tiki, Lola go to 9 Lives, Lily went to Monica's, and you'll remember Lily was the little old blind girl, which was completely matted mess.
And yeah, she was blind, like her eyes were really bad.
Oh, it was terrible. So she went home. We've got Lilo and Stitch went to the Wiener Crew Rescue. And then we had Julianne and Michael come up from Country Companion, and they took our big guy Bruno.
My fave.
I know. You really loved him, didn't you?
I do.
Yeah.
He's gorgeous.
Luke Skywalker, Bark Vader, Padme Amidala, Bone Katan, and they also took Leela and Teddy, which were some that came in that were pretty gross, very filthy, very riddled with fleas, and so Beck had to clean them up. So 19 animals we got out. We had strays go home, which was great, and so it was a big week. Big week for getting animals in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, Dee. We've just heard the exciting news of the adoptions and rescue saves.
We did.
It's time for our happy, sad, and frustrating.
Okay, what do you want?
We'll go sad.
Sad. I can't think of a sad.
I
haven't got a sad.
Well, that's a happy. Okay, well, what about frustrating then?
Frustrating. Okay. I reckon that's going to be the next jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pieces are this big. I have to wear glasses now because my eyesight is shot. And they're this big. They're double-sided. There's no colour to them except maybe 3 out of the whole puzzle. So I think that's going to be my frustrating.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I could think of, actually, other than people with their revolving animals. That's my frustrating as well. You know, we're now dealing with some more people that we've already cleaned them up. So Lilo and Teddy had come from a household that I'd already had to find one of their dogs a new home, which was a wolfhound 2 years ago, and here we are again with 2 more dogs, and I believe there's still more at home. So frustrating that it's hard to keep helping other people when you seem to keep having to clean up the same households all the time. I reckon that's probably a good frustrating, don't you reckon?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Okay. Okay, so because we don't have a sad, is there anything funny that's happened this week? So we're still going to do our happy, but have you got something funny?
I can think of two funny moments. One involves me.
I was going to say, I think I know one of them.
One involves me and one involves John and me. Okay, so I'm working away and I hear, "Day!"
That's never a good sign.
Never a good sign. I ran out, grabbed some nets because I knew they were cleaning out the chicken enclosure, and the rangers had brought us some more roosters, which, you know, Russell Crowe is not happy about. Oops, sorry. I'll just silence that. Oop.
Taking a screenshot of it.
I'll just take a screenshot of it. So anyway, I race out there and Don goes, "One of the roosters has flown over the fence." I'm like, oh my word. So I race over to the car park. It flies back over to the fence into the dog yard. I said to Don, "It's in the dog yard." Threw her a net. I had a net, and it was like a stealth mode. I said to Don, just in case the chicken was listening to me, I'm like, I'll go around the back of it. I will come over the top of it. You keep it distracted. Don's like, right. So we're like this. The rooster's looking at us as if to say, it's the other phone ringing now. So the rooster's like trying to keep an eye on me, and Don and we're sort of like doing like skirmish, and then all of a sudden I crash tackled it. As it went to fly off, I caught it in my net. I was like, oh, thank God. Imagine explaining to council I lost a rooster. So that was funny moment number 1.
Which we don't have footage of that, do we?
No, thank God.
I'm a little bit sad about that.
Oh,
so
you
that's,
know what?
You might actually.
You know
We'll
what?
have a look and see if we can get, yep.
It was here. Maybe the fence might protect my my stealth mode.
We'll have a look, and if we've got some footage of it, guys, we'll attach
You might
it.
see it coming back through.
Yep, I'll attach it if we've got it. We'll have a look.
I'm hoping it wasn't the one of us like this.
I hope it is that one.
I'm
Anyway.
hoping not. Okay, so that was
The first one.
first one.
Yep,
The second one.
I know this one.
Don brings me and says, I just need to move the camera. It's dropped. Can you look at the film of the exercise run, which is this one? She said to me, can you just make sure it's at the right angle? And I'm sitting there going on the walkie-talkie, yep, just turn it to the right. Yep, that's good. And then I hear, get down, boy. Get down. I'm like, what's going on? Boy climbed the ladder. Boy was in the exercise run and decided to follow Don up the ladder.
He was having a grand old time. He's like looking over the fence. He's like, oh, this is a nice view, guys.
Little pocket rocket making his way up the ladder.
Now, we have got video of this, so I will be putting it in.
I said to Don, are you serious? She said, I'm filming it, T.
Yeah.
All while she's telling him to get down. So that was our funny moments this week, I suppose.
Awesome.
You're going to hurt yourself, mate. Get down. Boy. Boy, get down. Boy. Get down. Get. Boy. Get.
Okay, so we now need our happy to finish us off.
Happy. Do you know, we've had some really great times with the dogs here. Don and I have been getting out into the yard and playing with them. We made Bruno a friend in Buddy, which is a little bit sad that Buddy's still behind. But we had the dogs playing up in the yard. We were playing ball with them. They were having great times. We would just sit up there and chill with them. Bruno was just so happy playing with the ball. You know, all these dogs were so happy all weekend, just us getting out there and kicking the ball and throwing the ball to them. They just didn't stop. In the end, we had to stop so they would sit down and just lay under the tree and have a break. They just had so much fun just throwing the ball around, and it really made me happy and Don happy just to see the smirk. I mean, Bruno, we were throwing multiple balls because as soon as he got one, he was ready for the next one. He had slobber everywhere.
Yeah, he's good at that.
And it was just really nice that the dogs had such a great time. It really brought me a lot of happiness, and I know that they did too. And it was great that Bruno and Buddy got along, and I was a little bit worried, because Bruno was so ball focused, would he get upset if Buddy went near his ball? And it wasn't like that at all. They just had a great time running after it. One point, we were throwing a ball that way and a ball that way, and in the end they were going for the same ball, and it was just a great day. We've had a really great weekend over this Easter period. Because it was so much quieter, we got to really sit down and play with them for hours on end, which was great. It was just a really nice weekend, and I'm really sad in one way that people they don't realise what they've given up with these animals, because they're all beautiful animals, aren't they?
They are.
So that's my first happy.
Mm-hmm.
My second happy, I'm going to have to show you. So, come with me.
Going on a road trip?
We're going on a road trip.
Okay.
Look at Grundy's.
Oh,
He's getting the afternoon sun.
he's like an angel.
Hi, bud. How are you?
Is that what you do?
Hi. He's not the happy, but I suppose he's my happy.
No.
Yeah.
He gives us happiness with his little devilish ways.
Cranky little face. Look at him.
Yes, isn't he?
Sweetheart. Okay, we'll actually go to the other happy. No, he's not the happy.
My happiness, guys. She has not beaten me. The impossible puzzle with 5 extra pieces with no borders is done. That is my happy.
I did like how Don tried to claim it, because you put pieces together and then she just joined them.
Well,
and so she was claiming it as she'd done the puzzle.
I know. You saw that I had all the different colours, and Don did the bit with the writing, which I can't even see in that now. Next thing you know, Don joined, say, like this to that. And she said to me, look at that. I've got 10, 15, 20 pieces there. I said, nah. You don't get to claim credit for that. She said, I put it together, Dee. I said, but Don, I did them. She said, yeah, but you didn't put it together. So I get to claim all of it. I'm like hell you do. And she said it to you too.
Yep, she did. She was so proud of it.
She said it to Tani, she said it to Pat, she goes, yep, we finished it. I'm like, stop saying the word we. You don't get to do 10 pieces out of 1,000 pieces and then say, we finished it. So yes, I'm very happy. The next challenging one will be this. I opened it in preparation last night and I thought, could they be any smaller? Is there any way?
I just think it's mental that it's printed on both sides.
It's printed on both sides, so 529 pieces. Feels like it's 4,000 pieces according to the box.
Yeah, I can see that. And look, it's all just...
Look,
imagine
colour,
that
colour and colour.
But you could be looking... So usually, like, I turn them all up the right way. You can be looking for ones that's upside down. Good luck, bud.
Well, if you see me sitting in a corner, rocking...
In the fetal position.
Look, there's that one. Right there. It's the only one I'm going to find. Yeah, if I'm sitting there rocking in a corner, you know I've started the Dalmatian. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That's the week that was. Really appreciate it. Hope you've had a great Easter. Take care.